Fuji Hunt, John Placko speaking.
Hello, John. How are you? It's Frank.
Hi, Frank. How are you?
Okay. I guess you're all set and ready to go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, that's great. I just got back in from lunch, and I'm glad everything worked out time-wise for both of us.
Yeah.
You're on the HoloTalk show, and the listeners will be tuning in to hear all the news about the new Fuji materials. Mm-hmm. So it might be a good idea for us to start off with maybe a timeline as far as Fuji's development of these materials. Maybe explain why Fuji even decided to get involved with holographic materials in the first place.
Uh-huh. Well, basically, as everybody knows, Fuji is a manufacturer, marketer, and reseller of photographic films and all kinds of things like that. And they found that there was one kind of niche market that's out there for films that has not really been serviced very much in the past. It's been serviced up and down. Different companies got in and out of it. Supply is questionable at times. Quality goes up and down. So they thought, since they have the capability of coding high-quality films, they thought that's a market they could get into. Also, there's some thought about the future in data storage, where you can store information on various different kinds of substrates, and holography is one of the things that people have talked about. So, looking at it as possibly a twofold kind of technology.
Yeah, so basically with the holographic data storage, the film-based holography part of this is actually just Fuji getting their feet wet, really.
You could look at it that way. It's a possibility.
Yeah. And when did Fuji start? Has this been in development for a long time?
I don't think it's been a long time. It might have been about a year.
Okay.
All told. They started to look at the research of doing it and things like that about a year ago, and then they started doing some market research probably a year ago, last summer. So, say last year, 2005. I guess the summer, fall of 2004, they started to do some market research on it.
That's a pretty quick turnaround time.
Yeah.
From conception to actually
so.
Bringing it to the market.
Yeah, I think it. I can't say before that what they were doing or thinking or anything like that, but as far as I know, that's how the whole thing worked through. And again, we have to remember they're a photographic company, so they can, do a lot of testing pretty quickly.
So let's move on to, now that we know that the product has been developed and it's out there. I'm assuming it's out there. I'm not sure. Is it available for order yet, or
it's
not quite
right
there?
Yet. We just announced it via press release from Japan and one from the U.S. itself. Our plan is to have a film available by the end of January 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And that film would be available in 30 by 40 sheets, 50 by 60 sheets, and 1 meter by 10 meter length rolls.
Yeah. And from what I understand from our lunch last week, at this time at least, Fuji doesn't plan on supplying any other formats other than those that you just mentioned.
Right. At this present time, we aren't, because of the simple fact that we haven't had the film out there. We've done market research and study. We've done a field trial on the test and stuff, but we thought it'd be best to bring it into what we feel is the commercial market, which uses the largest volumes of film, and thus once some volumes have been established, then we could think about bringing it into sizes like your listeners might be using in, like 2.5 by 2.5 or 4 by 5 or the like.
Yeah. And there's always the option at this point in time for someone to order a few 30 by 40 centimeter sheets and just cut them down.
Yeah, basically that's the way to get around it. The minimum box quantity we'll have would be 10. So, a couple people could get together and buy some like that, or if it's a school, they can just buy one box and it'll probably last them for the year.
Now, since this film is panchromatic, do you recommend any specific safe light or no safe light at all with it?
No, you can use a safe light. As a matter of fact, it dips down at the lowest rate at about 570 nanometers.
Mm-hmm.
So we've actually used a very dark amber-type filter as a safe light.
Okay.
But we've also found that there's a amber LED-type light. It's a company called Opt LED, I think it's called, and they sell an amber spotlight, basically, that's made from an LED. That's been used very successfully as a safe light by covering half of it with a green filter. It is very, very bright. You can actually see in the room pretty clearly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So we're happy about that. Or, you have to experiment, of course. So sodium vapor type lights could be used, but the intensity has to be reduced by quite a bit.
Yeah.
With neutral density filters or some kind of enclosure or what have you.
Yeah. Now, we spoke a little bit last week about comparisons, just for general purposes, to AGFA, and you gave some information as far as an increase in resolution over AGFA, if my notes are correct, but yet the speed is very consistent, or maybe one stop difference between AGFA, if you wanted to.
We think it's about around a half a stop slower than the AGFA material.
Okay.
Basically, resolution is around, in lines per millimeter, it would be greater than 3,000 lines per millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
The grain size is about 30 to 40 nanometers.
Okay.
So it's not the finest grain in the world, but it's a very fine grain.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did see some reflection holograms created with it, and they were very impressive.
Yeah. Some of the things that people have told us about them are that very little noise, so you get a lot of really blazing clear image out of it.
Yeah.
And, good. That, of course, gives you the good contrast.
Yeah, yeah.
Highlight the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. And, like I said, the brightness is really good about it. Once you do a transfer, it's very, very bright.
As far as processing the film, pretty much any type of processing chemistry that happens to be a holographer's favorite, I understand, will
yes, basically
pretty much work.
It uses, the normal process that you would use for holography, doing a developer and then a bleach afterwards. And different people have their own little, chemical mixes that they like to use.
Mm-hmm.
Some people use a Webster's formulation out there. You could use D19. There's different kind of pyro mixes out there.
Yeah, pyro is actually always my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good because it's from the black and white film, it's a very low contrast, fine grain type developer that gives you a very long tonal range, and it lends itself very nicely to holographic film.
Yeah. Do you happen to know offhand any of the specific formulas that were being used for the testers that they were using?
Nothing that was out of the ordinary that was out in the marketplace.
Okay. Yeah.
I can say that, as your listeners may or may not know, Fuji Hunt is the real whole name of Fuji Hunt is Fuji Hunt Photographic Chemicals Incorporated. And we're a wholly owned subsidiary of Fuji Photo Film Limited Japan, and most of our products that we deal with are photographic chemicals, like the ones you might see being used in local mini labs or mass retailers.
Mm-hmm.
So our forte is actually chemicals in a lot of respects. So we will be in future, once we the holographic film gets out there into the marketplace, we will most definitely be looking at introducing total processing systems where it includes a developer that's optimized for use with the film, where you basically just have to add water and you have a developer. And then we want to produce or provide a stabilizer solution, because one of the issues that you have with holography is it's not really like a black and white film where it's fixed and washed normally.
Mm-hmm.
People use bleaches, and then how do you stabilize the image so it doesn't print out over time?
Yeah.
So we're looking at doing something in that vein in the future.
Are you speaking primarily of manually developing the film, or are you planning on developing some sort of a automation system where you
we're
feed film
looking at
through?
Possibly doing some kind of automation down the line after we come up with a regular chemical system.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean a system per se as far as machinery goes.
Okay.
I meant more developer and stabilizer.
You know,
developer bleach and statewide.
There's an awful lot of old photo typesetting systems out there that the laser image centers like the Linotronics and the different AGFA machines. In fact, I think AGFA one time was called CompuGraphic, before AGFA purchased CompuGraphic. But they used to have these little desktop processing units that were about the size of a laser printer that you'd feed your cassettes through, and it would develop your film or your paper type of media that would come out of the laser photo typesetters.
Oh, yeah.
Would converting a piece of equipment like that be that far out of the question using developer and bleach?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it can be done. Probably the thing that you'd have to watch is what exact chemicals you use, because obviously there are the plumbing and what everything is made out of has a lot to do with whether you can or cannot use that particular machine.
Yes, okay.
To do a process. So that would be one of the things. I think that would probably be the quickest and easiest way we would like to see moving forward into an actual system, because a lot of the bigger machines that do very large processes are kind of not being used anymore.
Yeah.
So they might be available for a song, let's say.
Yeah, on eBay or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just take them, clean them out, and if you decide that you want to go with a route of D19 and some fixer, just feed your 30 by 40 centimeter sheet. You just have to figure out the timing that it needs to go through the rollers.
Exactly.
Really.
That's basically all you would have to do.
Yeah.
It's not really that hard.
Yeah.
So
isn't that something?
Yeah. I mean, it is possible, and there's some people that have looked at it but haven't done a lot of work in it. But I think within the coming year, we're going to be talking to quite a number of large producing holographers that are doing it for various display work and trying to get a system down that can be more automated.
Yeah. Terrific. You don't have any pricing together on any of the materials yet, do you?
Not specifically, because it's even though we said we were working on this for about a year, it's all coming to a head really fast right now. I was looking at proposals and things like that, and I mean, for your listeners, as a 4x5 sheets, they would probably be running in the $3 to $5 a piece range approximately. That's as close as I can come to as an estimate
for film. No plans on plates, right?
Plates are kind of a whole other thing for us, in that of course the film is manufactured in Japan, and the facility obviously is there to make lots of rolls of film or lots of sheets of film or what have you. So their expertise in coating is on a thinner, flexible type of substrate. When you get into thicker plate substrates, they do obviously have the technology, because they coat some of the coatings for plasma screens and LCD screens.
I see.
But the difficulty is, of course, those are the cost of those are quite high. Plus, the shipping from Japan of plates is somewhat problematic because of damage and things like that. So, I mean, it's not out of the question. I think we're going to have to see how the film performs in the marketplace and what kind of demands we can get out of it. If plates become an issue moving forward, we will definitely consider that.
It's not that inexpensive anymore to have things manufactured in Japan, is it?
No. It's like everything else.
Yeah.
Costs are going up, and resources are, everything's kind of shifting to China for all kinds of stuff.
Well, I know 20 years ago, a lot of the bicycle manufacturers, they started to have their frames manufactured in Japan. So if you bought a Raleigh or if you bought a Schwinn, they were British and American companies, but the actual frames, the production facilities had shifted to Japan. And then, of course, you had your Japanese makers like Fuji and whatnot making bicycles. But then it got so expensive to manufacture the frames in Japan that even the Japanese bicycle companies now have their frames manufactured in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So if you buy a Fuji bicycle now, even though it's a Japanese company, that frame's manufactured in Taiwan. Yeah.
Well, it's a global economy.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing anymore anywhere.
Yeah. Very interesting. Huh?
What is the thickness of the substrate?
The total thickness of the film is about 8.9 mil.
Okay.
The emulsion itself is about 8 microns.
Okay.
Thick.
Yeah, I don't. For lack of memory right here, I can't remember how that compares to perhaps the Slavich film or the old Agfa film as far as thickness. I know Agfa had a pretty nice thickness to it to work with.
And we have a back coat on the film to help reduce curl.
Okay. Let me ask you.
The base is triacetate.
That's not an anti-halation backing?
It is not.
Okay. All right, that's good.
No, we found some people, it's one of those things, you can't have it on there if you're going to try to have the film usable for masters and transfers.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. All right, well, I did receive the first press release. Mm-hmm. Do you have any other materials that you could send to me that I could place on the website for when people listen to the interview?
I have the latest press release that we is. You know what's the date on your press release?
I'd have to pop it open on the screen. Hold on. Let's see. Hope everything doesn't shut down on me. We'll lose 20 minutes of a show here. Oh, December 28th, 2005.
That's the latest press release.
Okay, how about if I put that up on the website?
That would be fine.
That's good.
I have provisional technical documentation that could be probably put there. It really just provides what nanometer range it has, where the safe light should be, what lasers can be used.
Response curves.
Response curves.
Yeah. I have contacted a few people as far as their willingness to take this material and do a couple shots and give feedback on it.
Uh-huh.
So if you'd like, I can get that information to you.
Yeah, that would be great.
And dare we say that if possibly maybe the first five people that would want to contact you to get a sample to work with could do so?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that we could easily do that the first 5 people that contact me via email at jplacko at fujihuntUSA.com, and we'll send them a few sheets of 4x5 to try out.
Okay, and I'll also have that email address right on the website. Now keep in mind, folks, this is the first 5 people, not the first 55. And of course, this is a global show, so you know, when this goes up online, whatever time it goes up, it's going to go up. I mean, it's going to. If I put this up at 8 o'clock at night, that's going to make it as an advantage for some people, but for some other person around the world where it might be 3 o'clock in the morning and they're sleeping, they're going to be out of luck. So having 3 kids and trying to be fair with 3 kids all the time has led me to believe that, you know what, it'll go up when it goes up, and the first 5 people that contact gets the stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the way it...
Because I can read the emails now. That's not fair. It was 3 o'clock in the morning here. Well, I'm sorry. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for lunch. It was delicious.
Oh, you're very
I was actually over in that area today. My wife and I went over to a Bavarian restaurant that's over there to get some deli food. Yeah. So ran over there.
Beautiful day to be out.
Oh, it's an absolutely gorgeous day.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I think we're going to pay for this.
Yeah, probably.
Pay for this weather. Is there anything that you'd like to add to this interview that we have not we've not talked about?
I think that pretty much covers it that I could think of. I mean, we're really excited about bringing this film to market. We've had some famous people in the holographic community tested.
Do you want to give any information about those famous people?
Well, we had Anna Maria Nicholson look at the film. We had Augie Muth look at the film. Dr. Perry, John Perry at Hollow North looked at the film. I can't think of any.
John Taylor, right?
Rob Taylor.
Rob Taylor, yes, yeah.
Fourth Dimension. What was the other guy?
Sorry about that, Rob.
Triple Take.
Triple Take. Oh, no kidding.
In California.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dinesh, enjoy.
Yeah. We've gotten really excellent feedback from everyone. They really liked the film. It looked good. It was good to work with. It's going to come in the size that they're looking at. What's nice is, we knew that the AGFA material is basically getting to the end. There's some out there still, but very little. And for those that have a red ruby pulse, if they needed a film to keep on making images, and this film will help them do that. So we're very excited about that.
And I guess lastly, if someone is out there, we'll say it's either John Smith or Sally Smith, and they're already using materials and they've been using them for a while, why would they want to switch? What is the incentive for them to switch over to AGFA if they already have a protocol in place with other materials?
Well, I think it gives you the opportunity to have a secondary supplier if issues arise. It also gives you the opportunity to possibly use some of the newer low-cost lasers that are out there if you're using an older system and you wanted to upgrade, but you were limited to the type of film you were using. This might give you the opportunity to upgrade to a different kind of, possibly a cheaper, more powerful laser. Since it's a panchromatic film, you have a wide range of different types of lasers to choose from. Mm-hmm. And of course, Fuji is I would say the largest manufacturer of films in the world. And if we can't make it right, nobody can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our quality speaks for itself, and we believe we'll have a high-quality product that is consistent, same emulsion to emulsion, and has a great shelf life and has a great image. It has just a fabulous, bright, low-noise, sharp hologram.
Yeah, it's very nice stuff to look at from what we could see under the conditions that we were in.
Looking at them.
Yes, exactly. That speaks volumes for it.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah, so we're going to actually introduce it, the film, at the Photonics West show in San Jose, and we hope to also go to the International Symposium on Display Holography.
Oh, in Wales.
In Wales.
Yeah.
We'll also actually, we're hoping to have some work on display at the Photo Marketing Association trade show in Orlando in February.
Oh, that's nice too. Yeah.
So, we're serious that we know that the market has been, let's say, underserviced, and we believe there is quite a potential out there for holography in not only the hobby world, but also for displays, medical imaging, mapping, and the like. And we think our film is the film that will be used in the future.
If Fuji's ever interested in putting a exhibit together using the Fuji materials for people to come to, that would be a good idea too.
We probably would think about that once we get it
rolling
out in the market.
Yeah.
People are actually using it and making more and more holograms than we could. You never know.
Yeah.
A sponsored show or an artist or the like. There's so many artists out there right now. It's hard to say whose work we would like to sponsor, but anything is possible in the future.
And when will you see Greg next? He's not sitting in the room with you right there, is he?
No, he'll be here next week.
Okay. He sent me a date. Tell him that if you can and you see him, tell him that the date's okay.
Okay.
All right. I think February sometime. I think 8th or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back to him on that. But he's not in touch with email or anything right now,
yeah,
right?
you could email him.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh, sure.
All right. I'll do that.
That computer goes with him everywhere he goes.
All right. And then this show will probably go up later tonight. And I'll get the email. I don't know if you're on the email list or not.
Not sure.
Okay,
I know where it is, though. Okay.
Yeah, it's the email list that goes out to everyone announcing that there's a new show.
Uh-huh.
So that announcement will go out either later tonight or early tomorrow morning, depending on how much I get finished tonight. I think I'm just going to use the show as is. I don't even think anything needs to be edited on this.
There's not too much, I don't think.
No, just as is, put it up, and we're ready to go, and everybody can listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right, John, thank you very much for being on the show.
Well,
thank you and Greg for lunch. Had a great time, and a lot of luck and success with your new holographic material, and welcome to the club.
Thank you very much.
All right, talk to you later.
You have a good day.
Bye.